You probably think, the worst thing you could stumble across in the woods, is a wild animal. But what if the animal walked on two legs, wore an apron, and held a freshly sharpened carving knife? There's a cabin just past the ridge in Black Hollow. Locals say don't go near it. Not because of spirits, or ghosts, but because someone lives there. Someone who shouldn't. This isn't just a story, this is a warning. Last summer, 3 friends went hiking, and got a little too curious. Only one came back. And what he said made my skin crawl. Let me back it up. It was supposed to be a simple weekend trip. A couple of days out in the woods, phones off, fire pit nights, beers, and dumb stories. Ricky, Troy, and Dan. They'd been friends since high school. Used to mess with each other all the time. And Ricky? He was always the one to push things too far. Always. So, naturally, when Troy spotted smoke, coming from a hidden spot in the trees, Ricky just had to check it out. Dude, someone might live here, Dan warned. We should leave it alone. But Ricky smirked and said, exactly why we shouldn't. They followed the smoke until they found it. A small cabin. Looked abandoned. But the smoke was real. The chimney puffed like a heartbeat. Slow. Steady. There were animal bones, hanging from the porch. Stringy. Cleaned. Perfectly polished. That should have been enough, right? But Ricky crept forward, boots crunching over dry leaves. He peered through the dusty window. And froze. Troy whispered, "What do you see?" Ricky didn't answer. He just opened the door. They should have turned back right then. The inside was oddly clean. Too clean. Wooden counters scrubbed down to the grain. Knives on the walls, dozens of them, lined up like soldiers. No dust. No mess. Just gleaming steel. And the smell. Not rotting. Not mildew. But cooked meat. Warm. Heavy. And something sweet underneath. Like someone just made a roast. They found the kitchen. A massive butcher block sat in the center. A roast was resting on a plate, still steaming. Ricky laughed. What kind of freak lives this far out, and eats like a king? He picked up a fork. Dan tried to stop him. Dude, that's not ours. Too late. Ricky took a bite. And immediately spat it out. Uck. What is that? Suddenly, a door creaked open, in the back of the cabin. Not the front. Not the one they came in through. The back door. Slow. Careful. Like whoever was coming in, didn't want to be heard. But had to know they were there. Dan whispered, "We gotta go. Now." They bolted. Crashing through trees, breath ragged, hearts pounding. They didn't stop until they hit their own campsite. All night, they kept the fire burning. Eyes locked on the dark. Maybe it was just a hunter, Troy said. Maybe they didn't even see us. But the next morning, Ricky was gone. His sleeping bag was empty. No sign of a struggle. No blood. No tracks. Just gone. Dan and Troy tore through the woods, calling his name. But all trails led back to that cabin. And this time, smoke wasn't rising from the chimney. It was already waiting for them. Troy hesitated. Dan didn't. He marched to the porch, and pounded on the door. No answer. But it opened anyway. Just creaked open like it had been waiting. The kitchen was spotless again. The roast was gone. And the butcher block? Now it had stains. Fresh ones. Dark. Sticky. And still warm. Troy gagged. Dan walked further in. Then he saw it. On the counter. Ricky's hoodie. Folded neatly. Like a napkin. And next to it. A tooth. Still bloody. Then. Footsteps. Upstairs. Heavy. Measured. Dan hissed, "Run," but Troy couldn't move. The stairs creaked. And then he saw him. The chef. That's what Dan called him. Apron, white shirt, slicked back hair. And a knife in each hand. Big ones. He didn't scream. Didn't charge. Just smiled. And whispered, "You shouldn't have come back." Troy snapped out of it. Dragged Dan by the arm. They ran. And this time, they didn't stop, until they hit a ranger station. Dan was shaking. Pale. Barely able to speak. He kept repeating, "He cooked him. He cooked him." The rangers went out. Didn't find the cabin. Didn't find the knives. Didn't find the bones. Nothing. Like it never existed. Troy told me the story later. Said Dan doesn't talk anymore. Moved states. Changed his name. But Troy? He needed answers. He looked into reports. Disappearances. Turns out, every few years, someone goes missing near Black Hollow. Hikers. Campers. Even rangers. And every time, smoke is spotted near that same ridge. The cabin never stays in one place. But it always shows up when someone's nearby. Like it wants to be found. Troy said he was going back. Alone. He needed to know. I begged him not to. He left me a voicemail the night before. Said if I didn't hear from him in 2 days, call the cops. It's been 4. They won't listen. Say there's no cabin. No evidence. No crime. But I know better. Because last night, I got a package. No return address. Inside, Troy's watch. Still ticking. Still stained. And under it, a recipe card. Laminated. Typed. It read, "Today's special, braised shoulder, serves 1. So if you ever see smoke in the trees, turn around. Don't check it out. Don't be curious. Because the chef's still out there. Sharpening. Waiting. And he's always hungry." Like, share, and subscribe. Then check out the next story.